Every day, millions of people around the world slip on a pair of jeans without giving a second thought to everything that goes into making them. What seems simple is actually the result of a complex process that begins long before the jeans even reach the store. From a tiny cotton seed planted in a field to the moment someone first puts them on, jeans undergo a transformative journey involving agriculture, cutting-edge technology, design, sewing, and finishing with near-surgical precision. Jeans have a fascinating history. They originated as durable workwear, designed to withstand the hard days of miners and factory workers, but over time, they've become a universal symbol of style, rebellion, and culture. This video will show you how this iconic garment is produced step by step, how cotton is grown, how it's spun into yarn, how it's dyed indigo, and how it becomes the garment that's now a staple in almost everyone's wardrobe. What you're about to see is not just a manufacturing process. It's a story of evolution, creativity, and industrial perfection. This is how jeans are made. It all begins in the fields, with a plant cultivated for thousands of years, cotton. To make jeans, a particularly resistant variety called Denim is used. This type of cotton takes about 5 months to grow from seed to a plant ready for harvest. In countries like Mexico, cotton farming is a fundamental part of the agricultural economy and provides jobs for thousands of workers in rural areas. When the plant reaches maturity, an impressive machine, the cotton harvester, comes into play. This gigantic machine can accomplish in 5 minutes what previously took a whole day of manual labor. It moves across the fields, tearing off the bolls and separating the fluffy fibers with incredible precision. Then, it is compacted into large rectangular blocks called bales, which weigh hundreds of kilograms and are wrapped for transport. Each ton of harvested cotton contains approximately 500 kilograms of seeds, 100 kilograms of leaves and other unusable parts, and barely 400 kilograms of usable fiber. This is the raw material with which everything begins. Once harvested, the cotton travels to a processing plant. There, the bales are unloaded and passed through a series of machines that remove impurities, sticks, soil, leaves, plant debris, and even any seeds that might have remained trapped. It's a dusty, constant, but essential task. The fibers are cleaned, dried, and sifted until they become soft, light, and completely white, ready for further processing. The result of this process is bales of refined cotton, weighing approximately 200 kilos each. Each of these bales contains enough fiber to produce up to 325 pairs of jeans. It is here, in these early stages, that the story of each pair of jeans truly begins. After the cotton has been cleaned and refined, one of the most important steps in the process begins, transforming this cloud of white fibers into yarn suitable for weaving. When the bales of refined cotton arrive at the spinning mill, each batch is carefully analyzed. Not all fibers are the same. Some are longer, others softer. To obtain a uniform and strong yarn, fibers from different batches are blended in precise proportions. This step is fundamental to guaranteeing the quality of the final fabric. The process begins in the beating room, where the fibers are loosened by air currents. Then they pass into the carding area. Here, a series of mechanical combs untangle, stretch, and align the fibers until they form a continuous, fine web. This web is wound into ribbons, which are then stretched and twisted to form a thick strand called a roving. This is the first step in creating yarn. The next stage begins with spinning. Using high-speed machines, the rovings are refined and twisted until they form a strong, fine, and continuous yarn. These machines can operate at over 100,000 revolutions per minute. The resulting yarn is wound onto spools and inspected for defects. It must meet specific thickness and strength requirements. This yarn forms the basis of the fabric, but it still lacks something essential: its characteristic color. And for that, the next step is indigo dyeing. With the thread already prepared, the time comes to give it its identity. For if there is one thing that distinguishes jeans, it is their unmistakable blue color, indigo blue. This color is not simply an aesthetic choice. It has a history. Indigo is one of the oldest dyes in the world, originally extracted from a plant. Today, a synthetic version is used that retains its properties. The dyeing process is not simply a matter of dipping the threads into a dye bath. To achieve a uniform color, the threads are introduced into and removed from the indigo bath several times. With each immersion, a layer of pigment is added. Initially, the threads have a greenish tint, but upon contact with oxygen, the magic happens. They transform into dark blue. This phenomenon, known as oxidation, fixes the color to the surface of the thread, leaving the interior lighter. This detail is essential. Thanks to this technique, the jeans acquire over time those worn areas, soft contrasts, and unique textures that make them so special. After dyeing, the threads are dried and treated with cornstarch, which gives them firmness and prepares them for the next step, weaving. Does what goes into a simple pair of jeans surprise you? If you want to continue discovering how the objects we use every day are made, like the video and subscribe. You'll help us keep creating content like this. Once the dyed yarn is ready and stiffened with starch, a new step begins, creating the denim fabric. This process takes place on industrial looms that operate continuously. Thousands of blue threads, called warps, are placed vertically in parallel. Interlaced between them are white threads known as weft, which move from one side to the other across the loom. This weaving technique, called serger, is what gives denim its characteristic diagonal pattern. For every 3 blue threads, a white thread is interwoven, generating that deep blue color with light undertones that we all recognize. Each loom can produce a specific number of pieces. The selection figures for the instruments are controlled to the millimeter to ensure uniformity and strength. The sound of the looms is constant and precise. Each machine is calibrated like an instrument, and the slightest error can mean the loss of hundreds of meters of fabric. Once woven, the fabric is wound onto giant reels and undergoes rigorous quality control. Only then is it ready to become jeans. With the denim already woven and checked, a stage begins where every centimeter counts: the cutting and assembly. First, the patterns for the different pieces of the pants are digitally drawn to make the most of the fabric. The system arranges the shapes like a puzzle, minimizing waste and maximizing material efficiency. Once the molds are defined, they are printed onto a guide sheet which is placed on top of layers of fabric. One roll can lay up to 450 meters of fabric on an industrial cutting table. Automatic cutting machines with ultra-sharp blades make precise cuts that can cut through up to 200 layers at a time. Smaller pieces, such as pockets or belts, are cut with special presses that ensure consistent shapes. Each set of pieces is organized and labeled for shipment to the garment-making area. There, specialized seamstresses work on an assembly line. Each person handles a single part: zippers, stitching, waistbands, or pockets. This system ensures speed and consistent quality. The process is fast, technical, and precise. On average, each pair of jeans requires 1.6 meters of fabric, 6 metal rivets, strong thread, and a zipper or buttons. In the sewing room, operators assemble each pair of jeans step by step. Some machines sew zippers. Others focus on back pockets or side and crotch seams. One of the most delicate steps is embroidering the pockets. With automated machines that produce up to 2,500 stitches per minute, the decorative patterns that many brands use as their visual signature are created. A factory can produce up to 6,000 pairs of jeans per day. To achieve this, more than 10 kilometers of denim and approximately 750 kilometers of yarn are used. Thus, piece by piece, thread by thread, the garment begins to acquire its final shape. With the jeans already sewn and assembled, a stage begins that transforms them from a basic garment into a piece with its own style: the finishing. This is where a technology increasingly common in the textile industry comes into play: the laser. While using computer-controlled systems, lasers project intense light patterns onto the fabric, removing pigment and creating distressed effects. This technique not only saves time but also reduces the use of water and chemicals, making it more environmentally friendly. With lasers, it's possible to reproduce creases, discolored areas, fold lines, and even superficial tears. Each effect is programmed with millimeter precision, allowing for subtle variations within the same model, making each piece unique. Logos, letters, or designs can even be engraved with a burnt finish, a blend of art and industrial techniques. After laser processing, the jeans are hand-finished by skilled workers. Using sandpaper, abrasive sponges, or brushes, they carefully scrape strategic areas to simulate natural wear and tear. Particular attention is paid to the thighs, knees, pockets, and hems of the trousers. Each pair is treated individually, giving it a distinct character. No two pairs of jeans are exactly alike. Some styles go further and require even more extreme effects. Intentional rips, frayed edges, hand-applied patches, and even deep wear or distressed effects. Here, wear and tear isn't a flaw, but rather an integral part of the design and visual language of each collection. This type of handcrafted work not only adds style, but is also the most expensive and laborious aspect of the entire production process. It requires experience, precision, and a trained eye to achieve a finish that appears effortless yet is meticulously planned. At this stage, jeans become fashion. With the style defined, the final step arrives: washing, checking, and preparing the jeans for distribution. Stone washing softens the fabric and enhances the worn effect. Volcanic stones are used to pound the garment in large rotating drums. As a sustainable alternative, ozone washing brightens the color without using water, helping to reduce environmental impact. Next, the jeans are dried, ironed, buttons and labels are attached, and they undergo a final visual inspection for any imperfections. Only those that pass this quality control are folded, packaged, and shipped to stores worldwide. What began as a simple cotton seed in a field has come a long way to become one of the most iconic garments in the world. Each pair of jeans is the result of months of work, hundreds of expert hands, and a combination of technology, tradition, and creativity. From harvesting to cutting, from dyeing to finishing, each step is part of a transformation chain that converts raw materials into fashion. And the most remarkable thing is that, despite their complexity, jeans remain one of the most accessible and universal garments in existence. Jeans are found in every corner of the world, adapted to all styles, ages, and cultures. Each pair tells a story of innovation, effort, and evolution. A story we wear every day without giving it much thought. The next time you put on a pair of jeans, perhaps you'll remember everything that went into making them. It's not just a garment, it's history, engineering, design, and a touch of art. And now a question arises. Do you think we should pay more for jeans to ensure they are produced more ethically, or is that unrealistic? Yes or no? And why? We'll read all the comments on this video. If you enjoyed this documentary, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our content. But don't go away just yet, there's more. In the rest of this video, you'll discover how old clothes can be recycled and turned into jeans. So stay with us until the end.
Every year, 92 million tons of clothing are thrown away. But instead of simply disappearing, a large portion of these textiles is now being reintroduced into the production chain. Clothing recycling is reshaping the circular economy of fashion and opening a new chapter for the global industry's sustainability efforts. Behind every worn, frayed, or faded piece of fabric lies a complex technological journey. Collection, sorting, cleaning, shredding, fiber separation, until each filament is transformed back into yarn, then into fabric. At the heart of vast recycling plants, operating day and night, textile waste is silently converted into raw material for the next generation of products. To understand the true power of this industry, one must examine each step in detail, from the moment clothes are discarded to the moment they are reborn as new materials, ready to begin a completely different life cycle. From a once marginal idea within the textile industry, clothing recycling has become a full-fledged economic sector, now valued at over $9 billion, with projections to double in the next decade. Every year, millions of tons of discarded clothing fuel a new kind of supply chain, where waste becomes a resource and where technology transforms the way the world perceives materials. Today, more than 250 large-scale textile recycling facilities are operating in Asia and Europe. Each ton of recycled fabric saves up to 75,000 liters of water and reduces nearly 1,800 kilograms of CO2 emissions, making it one of the most resource-efficient processes in the entire fashion industry. From cotton and polyester to wool, these factories close the loop between waste and production, forging a future where every discarded fiber can find new value for the planet. Think back for a moment. What did you do with clothes that no longer fit? Did you throw them away, give them to a friend, or leave them at the back of a closet? This answer, shared by millions of people worldwide, became the starting point for a powerful textile recycling industry. This story doesn't begin in a factory, but in the heart of cities, where collection containers are located in shopping centers, apartment buildings, and even fashion stores. Every week, specialized trucks collect piles of used clothing. Each bag is filled with clothes that once held a story. Some items are redistributed to charities, while the rest are sent to recycling centers, where their second life begins. What was once considered mere waste is now treated as a raw material. Amidst mountains of faded and torn fabrics lies a simple yet profound truth. A garment is only reborn when someone decides not to throw it away. When bags of clothing arrive at the recycling center, they don't immediately go into the machines. They must first go through one of the most meticulous steps: sorting. Every garment, every piece of fabric is unfolded and inspected. Every seam is examined to determine the material, color, and degree of wear. Much of this work is still done manually, as only the eyes and touch of an experienced operator can distinguish a cotton polyester blend from pure polyester. Alongside these manual processes, optical scanners and sensors assist in identifying thousands of items per hour. The accuracy of this step determines the quality of everything that follows. This is where the true foundation of textile revival lies. Before discarded garments can be reborn, they must be stripped of everything that isn't textile. Each piece passes through a metal element removal system where buttons, zippers, staples, eyelets, and plastic logos are removed to prevent damage to the machines in subsequent stages. When only pure textile remains, the material is sent to the cutting and shredding section, the heart of mechanical recycling. On the conveyor line, industrial blades move with rhythmic precision, cutting the garments into small pieces a few centimeters across. The fragments then fall into enormous shredders, where hundreds of high-speed spinning steel knives tear the woven fibers apart and transform them into a soft, fluffy material, similar to shredded cotton. The fiber dust is continuously extracted by a high-pressure air system, while industrial magnets capture any remaining metallic residue. Once this fragmented mass takes shape, it is directed to the washing and cleaning area. There, hot water, steam, and bioenzymes remove any remaining dirt, grease, and dye residue from the fibers. Multi-stage washing tanks ensure that each fiber is perfectly clean without altering its structure. By the time the material emerges from this section, it is no longer worn clothing, but raw textile material, ready for the next stage: fiber separation and spinning into new yarn. The fiber bundles then pass into the carding system. High-speed cylinders, lined with fine metal teeth, stretch and untangle each filament. Streams of pressurized air expel dust and residual particles, keeping the fibers clean and stable. Optical sensors identify fiber types in real time, while air valves redirect cotton, polyester, and wool into separate channels. Finally, the purified fibers are compressed into uniform bales. This is the precise moment when discarded textile becomes a refined material, ready for the spinning stage. Freshly cleaned fiber bales are conveyed to the spinning area, where rows of sharpened looms operate continuously under the bright white lights of the workshops. Each rotating spindle holds thousands of fine strands, which are stretched and twisted uniformly by speed-controlled motors. Electronic sensors monitor the tension of each filament to prevent breakage. On the central control panel, twist, density, and spin speed data are updated in real time, allowing technicians to adjust each spool to the millisecond. The constant hum of the machines fills the air, the rhythmic pulse of a factory in operation. Every minute, meters and meters of new yarn are carefully wound onto their spools. At the end of the line, these soft, shiny yarns, uniform in strength and thickness, are scanned by optical sensors before being sealed, labeled, and placed in storage. From this moment, the material is ready for the next stage of its journey, becoming fabric again. Each spool of yarn is placed on the looms, connected to thousands of spindles that run the entire length of the machine. The central control system is activated, and hundreds of heddles begin to move rhythmically up and down, interlacing the warp and weft threads to form the first sheet of fabric. Each loom is precisely calibrated for tension, yarn density, and weaving speed according to the type of material being produced. Laser sensors monitor every yarn crossing in real time, automatically stopping the machine at the slightest misalignment or broken thread. In this enclosed space, the repetitive clatter of the heddles and shuttles resonates like the heartbeat of the factory. Gradually, a new fabric emerges, smooth, even, and lustrous, carefully wound onto a wide roller at the end of the line, ready for the next stage of processing. The freshly woven fabric is wound and sent to the finishing section, where cutting, washing, and dyeing machines operate continuously. First, the fabric passes through an enzymatic washing bath to soften its texture. Then, it is pressed and dried before being introduced into a fully enclosed, high-pressure dyeing unit. The color is applied uniformly using electrostatic spray nozzles, ensuring even distribution of pigments on each fiber. In the next step, a heated calender smooths the surface and stabilizes the fabric's dimensions. All parameters, temperature, pressure, and time, are monitored in real time by a centralized computer system. Once the cycle is complete, the finished fabric passes through an automated inspection tunnel where industrial cameras scan every centimeter for weaving defects or color variations. Only rolls that meet all quality criteria are sealed, labeled, and transferred to the storage area, marking the completion of the recycled fabric production cycle. From mounds of old clothes, the recycled fibers continue their journey into the world of denim. Each thread is coated with a dense protective image solution to ensure strength and stability before the indigo dyeing process begins. Along the dye line, which stretches for dozens of meters, the recycled threads are repeatedly immersed in indigo baths. Each immersion is followed by an oxidation phase, which gradually intensifies the characteristic blue of denim. Optical sensors regulate the color intensity, ensuring that each thread emerges with the same deep shade, ready for weaving. Unlike conventional fabric, denim is woven in a distinct twill weave, where white weft threads intersect blue oak threads. This structure naturally creates light-dark contrasts as the fabric ages. In the weaving room, hundreds of looms work in perfect synchronization, their shuttles moving back and forth thousands of times per minute. The central control system monitors yarn tension and the precise angle of the twill, essential parameters for determining the strength and elasticity of the denim. Laser sensors track the uniformity of each weave point, automatically correcting even the slightest deviation. When the first roll of denim appears, its surface reveals its characteristic diagonal lines. This technical signature makes the fabric exceptionally robust and timelessly beautiful. Once off the loom, the denim enters the finishing phase. It is washed, softened, and given its typical faded texture through pumice stone or bioenzyme treatments. After drying and pressing, each sheet is inspected for softness, color, and elasticity before moving to the cutting and sewing area. From the softened and dimensionally stabilized rolls of denim, the process moves to the cutting area, where the fabric begins to take shape as a finished product. Layers of fabric are stacked and held in place by a vacuum press to ensure maximum precision. Automated cutting machines follow digital patterns, their heat-resistant alloy blades slicing through dozens of thick layers of denim without distortion. Each component, leg, pocket, waistband, belt loop, is numbered and sorted before being sent to the sewing line. In the garment workshop, hundreds of specialized machines work in unison, each performing a precise operation. Twin needle machines for the main seams, overlockers for pocket edges, chain stitch units for decorative finishes. Steel alloy needles pierce the dense denim at high speed, while electronic sensors regulate thread tension to ensure even stitches. Polyester or waxed cotton yarns are used for their strength, and their contrasting color has become one of the visual signatures of classic jeans. Operators inspect each piece directly at their workstation, checking the alignment of the seams and the correct placement of reinforcements in stress areas. Once approved, the jeans move to the next stage, where buttons, rivets, and zippers are attached, transforming the textile structure into fully functional garments. The assembled jeans bodies are conveyed to the accessory attachment area, where rows of hydraulic presses operate at a constant pace. Metal buttons, rivets, and zippers are automatically fed by vibratory bowl feeders and firmly pressed onto the most stressed points, such as the pockets and waistband. Each press movement is precisely regulated by pressure sensors, ensuring sufficient force to attach the accessory without distorting the fabric. At the end of the production line, leather tags and brand labels are hot stamped using metal dies, adding the final touch of identity to each pair of jeans. In this era of refined finishes, technology is giving way to craftsmanship. Machines now play only a supporting role. Ultimately, it is human hands that define the style and character of each pair of jeans. Skilled finishers use sandpaper, pumice stones, and stiff brushes to distress specific areas of the fabric, knees, back pockets, waistbands, creating natural fades and highlights that mimic years of wear. What appears simple actually requires precise expertise. Too much pressure can tear the fabric. Too little leaves no visible trace. Certain details are refined with airjet tools or light brightening sprays, allowing the indigo to gradually fade to the vintage tone desired by the designer. Each pair of jeans is then hung individually in a light-controlled booth where artisans assess the color balance under different lighting conditions. When the shade achieves the desired harmony, the jeans are steamed to further soften the fibers, stabilize the shape, and smooth any creases. No two pairs are exactly alike. Each wash, each distressed edge bears the unique signature of the finisher. It is this individuality that transforms a simple pair of jeans into a unique piece marked by human touch, time, and technique. As the process moves toward the final inspection area, the rumble of the large machines fades, leaving only the soft rustle of the fabric being folded. Each pair of jeans is laid flat and examined under intense white light. Every seam, every wash, every fiber is inspected to verify its durability and consistency. Only pieces that meet all the criteria are marked, precisely folded according to predefined templates, and then sent to the automated packaging line. The finished jeans are carefully stacked in boxes, sealed, and recorded in a digital system to ensure traceability. At this final stage, each product undergoes more than just a quality control check. It attests to a complete cycle of renewal, a transformation of discarded fibers into a new pair of jeans. The journey of an old shirt doesn't end in a landfill. It continues inside factories, where materials are regenerated and redefined. Discarded clothes become fibers, fibers become denim, and denim is reborn as new garments, carrying within them the spirit of sustainability. At every stage, from sorting to finishing touches, humanity's efforts to transform waste into value and reinvent the relationship between consumption and the planet are reflected. If you believe fashion and the environment can coexist, share your thoughts and reflections in the comments and tell us what sustainability means to you. Every opinion, every perspective contributes to shaping a future where innovation and responsibility go hand in hand. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our content.